it's constantly alert. It's observing. It's I think we got a lot of hints, through the day to redirect our awareness to our higher self, but we are so driven by the outer world.
Yeah.
And we have to fit in the traffic, Yeah. Blend in or whatever.
Yes. Do what everyone else is doing. Do what we've always done. Be and be who we've always been.
Yeah. And that is, like you said, the ego behind the driver's seat. It's the front mirror, the front part is like the back part for them, for the ego.
Right. Yeah,
But we can't.
so it's go ahead.
Yeah. So go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Chi.
No, I love to hear your check on that.
Oh, I do agree. I was thinking, it's like, huh, how many awarenesses are there that are communicating with us? Like we have our ego mind, and ego to me is like the thinking mind, right?
Yes. The logic mind.
Logic, rational.
Yeah.
And this mind wants to keep us safe.
Yes.
And it does this from its past experiences.
Yeah.
And so it likes and looks for familiarity, comfortable, because that all equals safe and protected.
Yes. It's our connection to our life on earth.
True, right? To the lower dimensions, the lower realms, huh? Yeah.
But the rule of nature is very simple. The law of nature is yeah. Either we're following it or not. It will always be there, and it will affect us.
What is the rule of nature?
It's 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 abundance. It's equal. It doesn't matter whether you are an animal, a child, or a grown up. If if you jump from a cliff, the result is the same. So there are many laws, law of gravity, law of yeah.
And what that shows for me is to see just what is it? Now, what is it means like out there or in here, or whatever one it is just, oh, what is it? Or better yet, is to look at it as it is. Because everything else I add to it.
I think in order to have to put our higher self on the driver's seat, we have to surrender. We have to accept. It's unconditional. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Because anything else is limitation. Is our higher self. It doesn't depend on time or anything. It's beyond that.
Yes.
It's beyond rationality or logic. It's a different realm.
That's right. It doesn't always make sense.
No, because we tend to use our senses, to measure everything. But
yeah,
the 90% of us, our subconscious, all that, we can't see it, but it's there. Much bigger, much, yeah. Everything comes from the mind. Yeah, whether we want to build a spaceship or a building, whatever, construction, it comes from the mind.
Yeah. And maybe the idea comes from the higher self.
Yeah.
Like the
Yes.
spark, the
Yeah.
catalyst.
Definitely. Yeah, we're the sum of all the colors, the tones, of everything. So we it's deep part of us, as above, so below, as within, so it's without, and all that. It's there's
That's good. The same within as without. The same within as without. I take that as out there in here, right? So whatever is happening in here is what we'll see out there.
Yeah. So are we seeing with limitation or with openness?
Yeah, so that's a good way to check.
We are capable and able of so many things that we are, it's yeah, I tend to believe it's been hidden, it's all hidden just in front of us, But if we can't see it, yeah, man, we can go pass by it, and yeah, not noticing it. Like, we don't have to seek outside of ourselves. We have all the answers, within us. By knowing ourselves, we will know our fellow human. We are made up of the same components. Energy.
Good morning, Sindrell and Pascal.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Sindrell. Good morning, Pascal.
Morning.
Good morning. Interesting conversation from the YouTube perspective.
Just picking up, where you left yesterday on boundaries.
Yeah, that conversation resonated with me throughout the day. I kept getting whispers of it.
Nice.
Unresolvable desires.
Mm.
Say more.
Well, it's developing, right? Unresolvable desires. It means we're going for something but can't get it. It's like, okay, well, desires are what we want, and unresolvable means we can't have them. Well, what causes that? One that I see is like in here, out there. So where do we start? Do we start in here or do we start out there? And I say, most of us, I used to say out there affects in here. That simple structure is a victim mentality, not victim as we understand it or think of a victim.
Mm.
But it is limited that we're giving it that it can only work that way without even being aware we're granting that way.
Mm.
See, we know no other way. So that's conditional, right? Well, the conditions out there control me, control my emotions, control how I feel. Is that true? Yes, it's true. Is it powerful? Is it a creator's way to see the world?
Nope.
It's a creator says, oh, this is what's in here. I'm going to put it out there. To me, that's the being aspect. So do I be, do, have, or do I do, have, be?
Mm.
So I think of unresolvable desires. Right? It's how we're looking through the lens we're looking through. Um, that we are like what I feel is based on the conditions. So the conditions determine how I feel is one way that we see an unresolvable desire. And if we're unwilling to see that, we everything we desire is if that's our default, then every desire we've put conditions on. And that is unresolvable because it means it has to go in that direction. And nobody really taught us how to intentionally create. And that's all structure.
So my mind is going in a lot of different directions with this unresolvable desire topic
Mm.
because I'm like unresolvable desire, and I still get the picture of the waves ebbing and flowing. And as I go forward or I identify a desire, is it unresolvable? Is it unresolvable because it's not like a genie snapping a finger and fulfilling that desire right away? Or does it take time and labor and engagement and passion to fulfill the desire? And the desire really becomes even more satisfying because of the time and the labor and the interest put into it. So that's the ebb and flowing of the wave. Um, is it is it an unresolvable desire? Sometimes it's the journey that that's the purpose that is given fulfillment along the way of being. And in the process of engaging with fulfilling with thought, energy, action, and cultivating what that desire is and how it looks and how it feels and how it integrates with the activity to have it fulfilled. I don't know that it's there's parts of me that change as I pursue it can become more clear, more be given more clarity of that desire so that I can really identify it, because it might be right here. The fulfillment might be just really right at the tip of my nose, but because of my clarity and because of my former structuring, I might not be able to appreciate and I even identify the fulfillment of that desire. So here we come again with the ebb and the flow of the waves coming in and out, the yin and the yang. It's me growing, becoming, appreciating, aware, experience, and wisdom. And to be able to, we don't want to miss the very gift of the fulfillment of the desire, always reaching for something without appreciating what we have and the journey and the experience of that desire. For me, what's coming up is an eradicated selfishness. If my desires, if I don't experience fulfillment of walking the path to fulfill a desire, I just expect everything to come to me like blip, the genie, fulfill it. And do I really appreciate the thing that I went after when it comes to me so instantly and end up stepping over it and chasing after something else that's not clear either? I think it's selfish from a selfish perspective of myself when I can't appreciate the integration and the journey and the ebb and the flow of a fulfillment of a desire. I want money. Why? Just to heap it up? Or do I want it so that I can do the things that I enjoy doing in the process? Feeding the hungry, sitting in a corner painting, going down to the shore, writing poetry, taking a walk on the beach. Having the freedom. I think my desires become truly unresolvable is when I don't appreciate the very breath of life and relationships and connections along the way.
Good morning, Jesse. Good morning, Pascal. Good morning, Sandrell. Hi, G.
Morning.
Is it because the ego is more fixed on the results and our higher self is more fixed on the journey?
Mm.
Because life on earth is fixed on a circle of if we desire a good harvest, we have to, there's certain steps we have to take, to prepare the soil, put the seed in the soil, and right time, right moment, and right place, and then just let go and trust the process, like
There's a be and a do to everything in life.
Mm.
And the more that they are aligned together, I think the more of our higher self do we see.
Mm. I think when we are one with our purpose, then it's our higher self that is, at the who's taking charge. And it takes a lifelong practice. I believe.
Yeah, it's like it's the journey, not the destination.
Yeah.
And that's the orientation. It's like, how am I orienting? Or what are my coordinates?
Yeah, let's practice some more. I will love to hear you guys what you have.
The be do have is hitting me with a little bit of a different note this morning. So thank you for bringing that up, Jesse. And the alignment for the doing to be in alignment with what you want to have or do have. So who are you being in the doing? Like, who does that? Who goes out and hit against the wall 1,000 times to perfect how they're holding the tennis racket? Who does that? Who forgives over and over and over again while maintaining a principle of integrity, of self-integrity? Who are they being? What are they doing? What are they having? So today is, who am I being? What am I doing? Are they aligned with those, for me, resolvable desires? Should I choose to be the person that does what is in alignment to have. Like, who are we being? Who sits here on this line and exercise being profoundly aware of our own structures that impress upon us who we are and what we do, and taking the time to investigate that and choose to restructure any aspect of our being to grow into what it what it can be now, what it offers as a foundation for the next, for the current building blocks and for the future building blocks of who we desire to be, what we desire to have. My church put out a t-shirt that just had consciousness on it. And, you know, many times I can find, you know, I'm enlightened now, please. I'm enlightened now. Yeah, right. But I can find pockets of where I have been not aware or not conscious of different aspects of my building blocks. And not to say that they're all for me or all against me or a combination thereof, but I get to choose which building blocks I want to stand on, my principles on, my growth on, my choices on, and to test even those principles with my actions. And sometimes I pick a perspective of a principle and I find out that it doesn't hold up. But it's iron that sharpens iron, being able to press it and test it. And so again, I come back to boundaries. Sometimes the testing and pressing brings on new demarcations of where that boundary is. Where that truth is. I'm being called to like revisit my and we should frequently, my lenses. And I've noticed looking at back his back pages of lenses, it's like some things I wanted just to bring me to the place to know better what's for me.
Thank you, Centrell. Continuing there was let's just let's just use good as a broad stroke here. Because I believe most people want to be good. So if I want to be good, that's gonna tend to lead to doing good. Now, that doesn't always need to be. It's like only after the fact, right? Do we see the effectiveness, right? The effectiveness of the good. So, like our orientation is like, do I start with be, do, or have? It's my tendency for everything in life, every situation, no matter what, as it comes up, do I tend to be, do, or have as a starting position? I can tell you where I was, like what society conditioned me to, and then, what here, as you spoke about awareness, Centrell, very similar journey, but mine and yours are different. But it's like that awareness just continues to open up. And so I can't tell whether it was have or do, like that was first, right? I think it was because it was so much as like when I have and then I'll be, like that was my structure. When I have it, then I'll be it. And so like to have it, the only way I could orient to having it is, well, let me go do it and then I'll be it. And so all of that is, well, that's what the world, so out there, that's what out there said I needed. That was my structure. And so since the world said it, then it became what I said. Deep down, this is like deep. This is not like, this isn't something that we, one, are really aware of, and two, is it something we talk about at a party? Because we be and do all the time. to me, being is the emotional, the feeling, the sensation, right? The unseen aspect of it, and doing is the action. That's what most of us see is people doing. And God, do we judge the doing? Because we can see it. The being, like we can see it, right? But only on the edges, like on the boundaries, like at the extremes, we see it.
What comes to my mind, about the be, do, and have is like, drive, neutral, reverse. We have to choose one position. We cannot operate on all three at the same time. When we drive.
So good. And it is. It's just it gives us a different lens to align them. It's like, oh, if this is what I want to do, and this is who I want to be. Oh, how do I do those together? Right? Like, how do I combine them? How do I combine my being and doing?
Yes.
For the journey, Cinderella, right? For the journey. Every moment, for this situation that's popped up right now. Because really, is it the same as the one that I had last time? Not at all. And maybe.
So I'm taking all this to heart. So be, do, have. What I did yesterday, I was motivated to do. I did it. Some things were frustrating. Some things were, stretching my brain. Some things were reflecting to make sure that I wasn't putting other people's stuff before my stuff when I'm still responsible for my stuff. So who am I being? What am I doing? What am I having? The term comes up, use what you got to get what you want. So that's the having. If you have a vehicle and you have to get somewhere, you use what you have to get where you want. And sometimes we don't have what we think we need to have, and that motivates us to get it. So that's who I'm being, taking the actions to do what I need to do to get that next step, to get to the next place in the process, in the journey. So how am I engaging in my environment that I do have? And who am I being in the way that I use those resources to get what I want? And staying, again, with the ebb and the flow, reflecting, to ensure for myself there's a satisfaction and balance, that I can continue to be who I am, that I'm still standing and living in my principles of who I feel comfortable being, of how I am in my authentic engagement. And there was a time where I had to recently check, am I looking for something in return? I'm looking for definitely the gratification of the engagement, but I'm not looking for anything really
from not the trueness. I'm not looking for anything from anyone else to validate that even if I put out all of this energy, I had to resolve that, like becoming detached from the outcome almost. Because in my being and my doing and my giving, it's who I am. Like I came to a point where I was like, if I had to cut my losses at any point in time, as if they were losses, would I be satisfied in how I engaged in the doing, in the being, in the giving? So I guess that's where that statement comes from. If I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't do anything any differently. Like I don't have any regrets for how I engaged, how I took the journey, how I responded.
That's like looking at it as it is.
Yes.
So that's like we look at something as it is, and then we can add so much more to what it is, or what we want it to be, or how it should look like. I think that's the dance of life, right? Is the difference between that. Like, what do I desire? How do I expect it? What do I want out of this creation of life, right? And be surprised with how it shows up. Not expecting to it how to show up, but surprised how it shows up.
But honestly,
Grateful.
yes. Yes. But I want it to show up good for me.
Oh, yes, we do. And yet it's like, oh well, like really, or like, yeah, yeah. Hmm. That's out there in here, right? I mean, that's just how subtle it is. I want it to be good for me. It's like, well, yeah, we all do, and it will be, right? Wouldn't it? Or only if we orient to that, that whatever I'm going through is good for me. Whatever I'm experiencing, it's part of my journey.
Thank you all. I so enjoyed this morning's discourse so far.
Thank you.
I'll be listening in from YouTube. I bid you all peace for the day.
Bye, Sindrell. Have a great day.
Thank you, Sandra. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Well, do we have a word for the day?
For me, yeah, for me, it's about getting things done. This day since this morning. So, but I don't know what word to.
I'm going to go with conditioned desires. Conditioned expectations, desires, wants, like the condition of them, like conditioned. Like others told me that's what I want.
Mm.
Yeah, mine would be preparation.
My word will be company. I'm getting a visitor from Norway today, so I won't be joining tomorrow and the day after.